Of all the 6 students, Patrick's case is the most severe. As he lies in agony in the hospital, the parasitic worms chart a horrific course through his body. The larvae hatch inside his stomach, then burrow into his bloodstream. They travel in the blood to the edge of the brain. There, they burst through the brain's defensive lining. Inside the brain, the larvae grow into adult worms. But when the worms try to get back into the bloodstream, they get stuck and die in the brain lining, causing it to swell.
The body's own immune system is attacking the worm, and this is causing a huge inflammatory response in the covering of the brain.
In the case of the rat lungworm, the infection is damaging the body in 2 ways. First, the worms are burrowing through the body, and that causes hemorrhaging and bleeding and tissue damage. And second, your body is attacking these organisms, and that causes swelling, and that swelling can be a problem when it presses up against vital organs like the brain, and that can be deadly.
Patrick's immune system is working overtime to kill the worms, but instead, it's killing him.
It was really getting to be a grim scenario. The doctors were sort of running out of options.
And time is running out. Not only is Patrick in imminent danger, but the other students aren't far behind.
On the forefront of our minds is the thought that Patrick might die. If we killed the larvae, that might lead to increasing the inflammation.
Instead of fighting the worms, the doctors must attack Patrick's own immune system.
It was controlling the immune response, which was critical to managing his symptoms.
The doctors give Patrick a large dose of steroids to reduce the inflammation.
The steroids toned down the immune response. This was quite effective in decreasing his symptoms.
I wasn't sure it was going to work, but I'm feeling so much relief.
The next morning, when I walked in Patrick's room, it was like he had never been ill.
After 3 weeks, all the worms are dead, and the steroid treatment has reduced the swelling in Patrick's brain. Patrick and the other students are cured. The outbreak is over. Today, Patrick is symptom-free and refuses to let the experience hold him back.
If I'm ever overseas again, I think I would be somewhat more cautious about what I would eat, and I'm not gonna, be scared. I mean, that would be like letting the worms win.
It's worth remembering that for a lot of these parasites that end up in the human brain, humans are not their target. So when they do end up there, it's a disaster for the parasite just as much as it's a disaster for the human. The rat lungworm prefers rats or snails and slugs, but when it does get into a human population, that's when an outbreak occurs.